Hello and welcome to update number 4. Not much has happened in the past week, so I'll be combining this short update with a little tour of all of my locomotives. And I'll give my thoughts and opinions on each and every one. But let's start with the update. So down here, I've put the grass down over the creek and the little tunnels for the creek or ditch. It's creek. But I've added a couple more trees as well. But with some more trees and then the water, I'm going to think this side is just about done. Maybe some wildlife or something, I don't know quite yet. This little area, the plaster has all been put down and most of it painted. There's still a little bit right here which I can just lift up this building and move to the side to paint. It's not quite glued down yet, but once it's painted, I'll then glue it down. The road will eventually continue over here, which I will mark. You can actually see the marks right here, and they'll continue using this little thing I made. Basically, it's just two pencils that have been shoved through some styrofoam. That way, when I mark all of the roads, they'll be the same width all around. So just a simple little thing to just mark it. Over here at the Poor Boy Mine Kit, this has all been painted. Well, I'm probably going to have or make this look like concrete since it is so square. Not many just hills are very square in real life. So I'll probably paint that concrete like it's a retaining wall, and then this will soon be glued down into its final position. All of this will, and the gravel road will come up here, and then probably just have all of this scene be gravel, maybe some dirt and stuff, but just look kind of very industrial and like something's just been slapped together to get the job done. The road finally has some final paint on it, not the Dalmatian stuff, but this still has a few imperfections, so I might just go over it one more time. Over here I went over it again, and now it's really, really smooth. But once I'm probably going to get around to that once I start paving over here. Other than, I do have some painter's tape down because I have been putting down some more ballast too. Right around here, probably some over there as well, which I'll get to that in just a moment. But I have this painter's tape down, that way when I'm putting the ballast down, none of it gets in the switches, because that would be a very bad day. You do not want these things having any sort of anything inside or on top of them. Anything like glue, ballast, just dirt, dust. Well, not really dust, but it's really, really bad to have stuff inside these because they just don't like to work very well if they do. Oh yeah, so over here the ballast isn't quite up to the level yet. I've been trying to build it up by just putting another layer of Elmer's glue and then some more ballast, and then another layer of Elmer's glue and then some more ballast. But it's not building up very fast because it just likes to slide down this slope here. So, but once I do have it built up and it's a nice even slope, I'll then start putting grass down over here and trees and everything. But that's really all that's happened so far for this week. So I'll go ahead and jump into showing all the locomotives I have. All the locomotives are on the layout right now. I don't have many, and I don't really need many because this is such a small layout. So everything that I have right now is actually a little bit of overkill for the amount of track I have. But we'll start over here. These two are the first engines I got in N scale, probably around I want to say 2009, 2010, maybe 2012, I don't know, somewhere around there. But these are the little guys that got me into N scale, especially that Union Pacific 440. I went to the local train show, and I was a kid at the time, and they let kids put in a raffle to try to win train sets. And I was one of the lucky few that won a train set, and I got this little Bachmann N-scale 440 with some passenger cars and a loop of track. Both of these engines are Bachmann. They don't run very well. They're kind of Bachmann's lower end of locomotives, so they're just kind of meant to get you into the hobby while you're building your resources to get better equipment. So they're not run very often because they don't run very well in the first place. This next engine I got, I think, in 2016, and it is an Atlas 2-truck Shay, and it runs very nice. Once the layout's complete, it's probably going to be run quite a bit because I really like it. It's got really good slow speed performance. I think it's actually geared for slow speed performance, but which is perfect for a Shay. So I really like it. Next we have this Santa Fe E8, which is a Kato engine, and it is probably the best runner I have on the layout. Its headlights are LED, and they've got kind of a blue tint, unfortunately, but this thing just runs and runs and runs. It's a very nice engine. It's not the most detailed, but, you know, it just runs really well. So next is a recent acquisition. It is a Kato USRA, a Kato USRA Heavy Mikado. There we go. And it's Santa Fe. And when I got it, none of the detail parts were on it, so I did my best trying to put them all on, and that was quite fiddly. But I think the results speak for themselves. It wasn't the best runner when I got it. I actually got it half off. I got this thing for $75, which may sound like a lot, but anyone that's hunted for these, they can be quite expensive, especially if they've got DCC and sound, which this one doesn't. But the previous owner kind of neglected it, and its wheels were filthy, so it took a while to clean them, and it needed a lot of oil, or not a lot, but the right amount to get it to run. And now it actually runs really well. I do my best to run this and all my engines forward and backward anytime I get it out of the box, just because it's better on the motor inside to have it be run forward and back. It makes it to where I don't know, it runs better. Next up are my two Rio Grande F3s. This one is kind of an older model, and this one's kind of newer. This one I've had to do a bit to it because this was my third engine. Third engine. And so it was the first realistic-ish engine that I have in N-scale. Both of these are Kato, by the way, if I didn't say that. And someone had come in and put microtrains couplers on it. They put a new LED headlight in it, which has the same bluish tint as this one. So both of the blue tinted ones, they're very bright, so they actually do really well if I'm running them at night. And then this one is a bit newer, both to me and just in general. You can see actually the grills on the side are painted differently. But these two are almost always run back to back on a freight train. So they're just kind of like twins to me. This is my pride and joy of the fleet. It is a Kato GS4, number 4450, and it's one of the older Kato GS4s. The box it came in has the red Kato lettering, so it's not the newest release of these that came out like a couple months ago, but it still runs really, really nicely, and I got the daylight passenger car set for it, so I like to run it with those quite a bit. Finally, I have two more engines. I have this Atlas Rio Grande RS3 that I have custom painted and weathered. Originally, I got this thing half off as well, by the way, at the local hobby shop, so really good find. But the yellow on the front, I had to hand paint, and that's acrylic paint. The white on the steps is acrylic paint, and I hand painted that. And then I used, what kind of paint was it? I don't know. It was a different kind of paint. It wasn't acrylic, but for the silver on the exhaust vent. And then I gave it a coat of weathering dust powder. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. It needed a little bit of work too, as it was half off, but I've just found that if you give any engine enough TLC, it should run. Not well, but it should at least run. And then finally, I have this Atlas Rock Island U25B. My great-grandfather used to work for the Rock Island, so I just want to have a little bit of rolling stock from the Rock Island. I have an uncle that worked for the Frisco as well, so it'd be probably nice to get some Frisco stuff soon too. But yeah, that's all I have for right now. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time, probably next week.